Mayor, can you hear us? Lost Creek Mayor?
Can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Thank you. Is there anyone on Zoom that wishes to speak publicly?
Yes, I would, Susan, if I could. We had our council meeting last night, and I had a request from some of the council members to invite you three out to our town council work session on March the 7th at 6:30 p.m. We really wanted to discuss what's going on with the rails and trails out on this end of the county. So I would like for you all to be prepared, because from the Horizon Church to the railhead here in town, we have not received any satisfactory compensation or any gravel that we need. Last time I talked to you all about this, it was August the 29th. I'd sent in a request to Laura to discuss this situation. At the time, I was told that we would be getting some work done out in this area, but I'm getting a lot of static from our citizens out here, and they would just like some answers if they could.
Hey, Mayor, this is Patsy. I wanted to tell you that I spoke to Mary Tillman.
Yes, sir.
I spoke to her about that. They're finishing up the last bridge crossing the water. And then after that, Laura has already talked to maintenance, and they're going to begin from Horizon's Church all the way past the senior center on as far as we can go.
Okay. I just, as mayor, you understand some of the pressure I'm under with some of the citizens out here.
Well, we're talking to them too, and Laura is addressing it. We just have one bridge that we're so that we can finish the fifth of the bridges, which will complete the bridges, and then Laura's already instructing maintenance to begin the gravel and the crushed rock on Horizon.
Okay, I'm getting some feedback, but I would still like to see somebody from the commission come out to our meeting, like I said, on March the 7th for a work session, if you could.
Dave, I plan to be there.
Okay, Susan, I thank you. Mr. Hinkle, how about you? Would you grace us with your presence?
I'm available.
Okay, thank you, sir. Patsy?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you. We do appreciate it. Like I said, it's rough being mayor of a small town and citizens asking a lot of questions that I can't answer. So I'll let you get back to your meeting. I do enjoy being on the Zoom meetings and seeing what's going on in the county. So I do appreciate your time. Thank you.
Anyone else on Zoom? Wish to- Okay, now we will, it's 9:07. And
03, parcel 68.
And have they been served for this hearing?
They have been served. They've had certified mail.
And they signed for it?
Excuse me.
They signed for it, or were they served in person?
They were served in person.
Are they here?
They are right there.
Is there anything else you would like to say, Charlotte? And these are photos from yesterday.
That is from yesterday.
So what, do you have anything else you would like to present?
No, ma'am.
Has somebody complained about this out there?
Yes, somebody has, there's several people that have complained.
And from the photos, you see various articles of bicycles, garbage, the camper.
That's all over.
Yeah,
That's all wrong. I got pictures on my phone.
I said camper.
On the camper. Oh, he told me, he said, give me a few more weeks on the camper because I'm gonna
Can you
put plates on.
identify yourself, please, sir?
My name's Alfred Sampson, I'm their son-in-law.
Okay.
But I talked to, I don't know what his name is, but he drives that little white truck around. And he told me, he said he wasn't too concerned about the camper. He was concerned about the Sea-Doo, the boat, and all of that. And we got the Sea-Doo out of there. We got 95% of the garbage out of there. I got bills where I took stuff to the landfill. I got a few more things to get out of there, but
When do you think you can have,
I can have that done by the end of the week. Yes, I can have that done by the end of the week right there, honey. Can I stand up a minute?
what's,
You're talking about this stuff right here,
I'm talking about everything in those pictures.
everything in the front. Do I have to take my camper shell off the top of that building? Because it's got my weed eaters in there and stuff.
What are you gonna do about the camper?
What
What are you gonna do about the camper?
I'm gonna try to get plates on it. They said as long as it was plated and insurance that it could sit there, right?
Yes. When do you think you can have all the garbage picked up by the end of the?
I asked if you can for another 60 days and I'll have everything done that you want
And
done.
you'll have the camper license?
Yes, I'll have a camper license, I have it insured, I have all the property cleaned up. And everything that's on these pictures I have done.
And you are,
I mean,
okay. So we don't have, Raymond is not.
Raymond is home with COVID.
Okay, that's nice. You haven't been around him, right?
No.
No, we're staying away from that.
Yeah, I'm staying away from him. I had it about 4 weeks ago.
Is it possible I can get copies of the receipts that you have?
Yes.
Big loss to you.
Any questions, suggestions to, give them 30 days, staff to come back in 30 days. If we haven't seen a significant improvement, then take the next steps.
As I mentioned, put that on the next agenda in 30 days.
Yes.
Can we mark the images which they're going to remediate and make them part of the record? That way we have a clear,
There should be exhibits. Maybe we want to mark them exhibits, or do we just want a number?
I would say just write on them exhibits 1 through whatever they are. That way we can make them part of the record and we have a clear picture of what was to be fixed.
Okay, I'll mark each picture 1 through 4.
Thank you.
The motion was made to give them 30 days for you all to make sure that what they're doing and let us know in 30 days. It will be on the agenda at that time to.
Okay,
Okay.
so 30 days from the day, right? And the question about camper shell on top of the building, is that allowed? 'Cause like I said, I got my weeds and stuff stored in there.
If not, we'll get rid of it.
Yeah.
That's your roof? Is that where you got it stored on top of that building?
It's sitting on
Underneath?
top
It's
of
sitting on top of my
Underneath the
building.
camp, okay. I got it. Yeah, I didn't know that was a roof to that building.
I don't see a problem.
I don't either.
I don't see an issue.
You can leave that on.
Leave it on there, okay.
Okay, and I guess we'll see you.
Okay, thank you.
Can I please have a motion and a vote?
We have a
Oh, we
motion,
did a motion, that's right.
but we need to
We have a
vote.
motion for them to come back within 30 days.
I made the motion.
David made the motion.
I just have to vote.
I understand. I know when I'm.
I'm sitting there thinking,
You're
that's
start thinking out loud.
thinking out loud.
Well, all in favor. Is there any more discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, motion carried. Okay, can I 9:15 now. Okay, 9:15, we have a hearing concerning Flora Skidmore Estate. Is there anybody here for that?
There's a
I'm
gentleman-
Jerry Todd.
Would you please identify yourself by name and give me your residential address and how you're connected to this estate?
I'm Jerry Todd. I'm the executor of Will. I live at 4490 Goodwood Pike. Lawrenceburg.
Whose will is,
This is my mother-in-law's will, my wife's mother.
okay, what's her name?
Alyssa Todd?
Okay, I just want to make sure you all get it on there. Has everybody been notified, served? Okay, thank you. Clerk? You have the service, you have that somewhere. Well, it says, it says to enter it into the record. Okay, you want to tell us the,
The problem is, she passed away last February. We couldn't find the original will. But everything in the will, she'd already given away except for her house. And George is actually living in the house and had been taking care of it for a couple of years before she passed away. So but that's the reason we had to bring the will in, because the house has to be sold.
so you can't find the original will, you've looked at high and low.
Yeah.
So
Found
we,
two copies, but no original.
so we need to make a motion to admit the copy. To allow the copy to be,
Like I said, the only thing that's outstanding on the will is the house. It's still in her name, but all the personal items she'd already given away before she died.
Motion to move forward as stated by the commission president.
a motion to move forward as stated, which is to admit the copy of the will to probate. If the county clerk will have to do that. Law and order will have to do that. Any further discussion or question?
No.
Okay, all in favor of the motion? Signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, hearing none, motion carried.
Who's gonna prepare the order?
You have to stand there. Is there one in the system? There may be one in the system. Okay, now we'll go to number 4, minutes and or amended minutes of previous meeting A and B.
Move to approve minutes A and B as presented.
Motion's been made to approve minutes A and B as presented. Is there
Madam
any
President, I'm sorry.
discussion?
The one that was actually attached to the agenda, has the wrong signature lines on it. So if we could just make the motion to approve the signature lines with Commissioner Hinkle and Commissioner Treecost signing this since you were absent for that meeting. That's the only change. Sorry.
Motion included and then as stated by the county administrator.
Okay, just to amend the motion as stated, is that okay?
Yep.
Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, any opposed? Okay, hearing none, motion carried. Requisitions, purchase orders, invoices as shown on A, vendor requisition list of payments. What's the pleasure?
Move to approve.
Motion's been made to approve 5A. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Exoneration, corrective tickets, joint property applications. It looks like we have corrective tickets only.
Correct, Madam President. We only have one on the list.
What's the pleasure?
Motion approved with one.
6B. Motion to approve 6B, correct? Okay, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? None, motion carried. Number 7, consideration of approval of a project fund requisition for the payment of costs associated with the project to be financed from proceeds of the Series 2019 bonds issued for the Charles Point Economic Opportunity Development District, Series 2021 A and B Development District, number 3 White Oaks Project number 2, and Series 2008A Charles Point Project number 2, Northland Bay. We have A through F.
Motion approved A through F.
Motion to approve A through F under 7. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Okay, we have another estate hearing at 9:20 for the Stephanie Layfield estate. Is there anyone here for the Stephanie Layfield estate?
Anybody else 3 times? Stephanie Layfield Estate.
Anybody here for the Stephanie Layfield estate? Anybody here for Stephanie Layfield estate? Anybody here for the Stephanie Layfield estate?
That's what he does.
Good job.
Thank you, sir. I take
No
it-
response.
No, thank you. Appreciate that. Okay, what do we want to do with that?
Motion to table hearing.
A motion to table. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Okay, number 9, review, discuss, consider GSA potential executive session pursuant to 6(9)(a) 4B9 to consider matters involving or affecting the purchase, sale, or lease of property, advanced construction planning, the investment of public funds, or other matters involving commercial competition, which, if made public, might adversely affect the financial or other interests of the county. Do we have anything for number 8 today? Hearing none, I'm going to take that as a no.
Laura, we have anything we need to discuss?
The only update I would have for you for the GSA is they have started construction, working on the gas line. They are demoing the sidewalk. We've been doing that work this week, and hopefully soon we'll have the replacement of the gas line for the generator in place.
They brought us up to date with all the paperwork you asked for.
Yes, actually, Trey sent an email on Monday, and they responded Monday afternoon with all the documents that we needed.
Is there anything else we need to discuss on it?
I think now we've got the documents, just time to take some time to sit down and commission to go over those documents. get a handle on what's going on.
I'll email that packet out to the commissioners and that way you can start to review it.
Thank you.
Okay, if there's nothing further on 8, we will move to 9. Consideration of approval of project fund requisitions for the payment of costs associated with the General Services Administration Building project to be financed from proceeds of the Series 2020 bonds issued for the Harrison County Building Commission. A, number 79 to Thrasher Group, $450. What's the pleasure?
Motion to approve, A, please.
Motion to approve 9A. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, motion carried. Oh, no, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none. Now, hearing none, motion carried. Motion approved. Okay, number 10, review, discuss, consider purchasing a 2023 police interceptor utility. A, by using the county roads release. B, taking out capital outlay cruisers.
So Madam President, we were able to find one cruiser, the black cruiser located up in Pennsylvania. Currently, the sheriff has 12 on order through a dealership, and those have not come in yet. That order was placed back in September. So as many accidents as we seem to be having with the cruisers, I asked the garage to find one, they did. And then the 2 options for that is we can either take it out of the lease money that's already there and established, or we can take it out of that 401, 45801, which it's our line item for capital outlay for cruisers. And we can always reimburse that amount with the insurance money we have been receiving for these banged up cruisers. There's $49,000 that we've received roughly from insurance claims that will be able to cover this cruiser.
I'd like to make a motion that we purchase the cruiser out of capital outlay.
Okay, the motion's been made.
With a budget revision to reimburse from the monies that comes in from the
Insurance.
insurance. And then we've already made, just while we're talking about this, we've already made one lease payment of $118,000, Laura.
Yes, that is correct.
And then that'll carry over the 132 to make the one of 2 lease payments for next year. And then you'll have to put in $100,000 in this budget to make the second payment for next year.
We can make that happen. We can do that.
Yeah. Yeah, so you'll carry over 132, pay for the 13th cruiser out of the insurance, and then put $100,000 in the budget to make both payments next year.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. And that'll give us 13 cruisers. Perfect.
Do we,
It possibly will give us 13 cruisers.
is there any word on when,
Yeah, April.
no, the cruisers?
April.
The sheriff expects them to arrive in April, although we are not exactly sure.
All of them?
He said all of them.
I just know they haven't released construction for March and April cruiser.
And we also don't know the price, if there's any price increase. So there is potentially 13 cruisers.
Let me ask you this, Laura, and if you don't know, and maybe the deputy does, once we get this cruiser from PA, how soon can we get it on the road? How long does it take us to get a cruiser on the road once we get it?
Usually about 30 to 60 days, I'd say, by the time they get it all wired with radio lights and get it straight.
Sooner the better.
Depending on the other equipment that needs to, the cage, the lights and all that kind of stuff, we possibly,
Some of it's out, I think, it's 3 or 4 months.
but we haven't checked on that. to confirm.
Okay, any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion to approve this under B, signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Okay, hearing none, motion carried. Okay, we have another estate hearing, 925 for the Betty Gallo estate.
I'm Frank, I was in there. I'm here to take me
Can you speak up a little bit? I'm sorry. Okay.
I'm on Betty J. Gallo. We've exhausted every place that she has had to feel, okay? But we think what happened was she brought it down to Mike Romano, and then he made his copies and came back up to the shop, put it in the safe, where we had put in the safe. So I do believe it got damaged, and we couldn't do that. So we were wondering if we could pick the copy.
And I'm awful sorry about that. Sorry, I don't mean to do that in here today.
Thank you.
She was a poll worker.
Yep.
What's the pleasure? There aren't any other interested parties or you, the,
My brother and my sister were all.
they've all been served.
Tell me what to do, Madam President.
Well, it's the same as the previous, make a motion to admit the will. I don't get the proper term. Copy of the will, there is a term for it.
Motion as stated by the commission president. Thank you, Brown.
Okay, is there any further discussion?
Yeah.
What do we do now?
Hang on, let's finish this first.
Oh, I thought you said.
No, that's okay, wait a minute. Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. We'll have to prepare an order for that. And then you can contact the clerk's office and make an appointment. Go ahead and do that, right? Or stop down on your way out and make the appointment.
All right, okay, thank you all.
You're welcome. Good luck. Oh, it's 9:30. You walked in just in time. Proclamation for National 211 Day, United Way. Amy Comer. Got it.
I'd like to leave these with the commission. Here's some 211 information, just some updated stats on it back there. Appreciate everyone's support.
We'll give you a chance to speak.
How are you, sir?
Good, and you?
Good, thank you.
Right, I'm gonna let you hold that.
Okay, great. Jacqueline. Jacqueline's our 211 rep. She's the one who answers the calls when folks need our help. So make sure she's the one that we're here for today.
Yes.
In our community.
And I'm gonna read what this proclamation says. Whereas 211 is a free and confidential service that helps people across North America find local resources when they are in crisis. And whereas West Virginia 211 is managed by the United Way Collaborative, providing assistance throughout West Virginia. And whereas United Way of Harrison and Doddridge counties maintains the West Virginia 211 line, which connects residents of Harrison and Doddridge counties to vital, non-emergent health and human resources. And whereas West Virginia 211 specialists are trained to identify and address the root causes of a client's problem and connect them with a wide range of available resources that meet all of the underlying needs, ensuring people in need are connected to agencies that can help them. And whereas making the social services ecosystem more efficient in Harrison County and Harrison and Doddridge counties. And whereas Harrison County Commission supports the efforts of United Way of Harrison and Doddridge counties and the West Virginia 211 network to provide assistance for all those we serve. And now therefore be it resolved that the Harrison County Commission does hereby proclaim, this is February 11th, 2023, West Virginia 211 Day, and encourages all citizens to join in supporting this vital community service. And it is given under our hand and seal on this 11th day of January. Okay, 2023. Fix that. So, guess I should have looked at it.
Thank you very much. Wonderful.
Whoever wants to speak on behalf of 211.
Well, first, I'd like to thank the county commission and the county here for the recognition. 211 is a tremendous resource for this community. And it's a statewide resource. So depending on your zip code, or I'm sorry, your area code, you'll be routed to the nearest United Way office if you dial 211. So anybody out there who's experiencing a social crisis and they don't know who to contact or call 211. You know, what's really nice about this program is that we have Jacqueline and other community resource specialists across the state who live in their communities. They understand their communities. They work with these organizations every single day. And the database that we have is current, it's updated. And, you know, when folks are experiencing a crisis, they don't want a machine or an automated system. They want to speak to a live person. And that's the value in this resource, is that you're being connected to people who understand your community and live in your community. So, nearly 1,000 calls were answered last year. These are calls that take time. And Jacqueline is the one who handles these calls. And a lot of these calls are difficult conversations to have with folks. They're in a desperate time in their life. So we're blessed to not only have your support and this resource, but we're blessed to have Jacqueline, our West Virginia collaborative, and everybody in our 211 leadership at the state level. I mean, it really takes us all, right? And as Amy always says, and I want to thank Amy, she's instrumental in the success of this program here locally too. Teamwork makes the
dream work.
right. So
Finally got him to keep saying it.
right. She
It only took 2 years.
right. So thank you all very much. We appreciate you. Thank you for supporting your local United Way. We're just blessed to serve our community. So
And I don't know if you identified yourself and your
yes,
title.
my name is Brad Riffey. I'm the executive director of United Way of Harrison and Doddridge County. So
Everybody knows who you are.
so sorry, I get so excited about what we do in the community, I forget to introduce myself. But yes,
And I'm Amy Comer. I'm the fundraising community development director for United Way of Harrison Doddridge counties. And the only thing that I would like to add, because Brad always eloquently describes everything that I always want to say, is that it is a blessing to have this resource and Jacqueline house in the United Way, because it brings together a lot of our partner agencies, and most of our partner agencies are the ones that we are referring these calls to. So that is a blessing that we have in this resource.
I think it is a great resource. Brad's explained some of it to me, and it's
It really
it's
is.
needed, much needed by a lot of agencies.
one-stop shop. We also have a tremendous, an amazing website. It's WV211. Check it out. If you, let's say you need a food pantry, you type in food pantry and your area code, all of the food pantries right here in this town will pop up if you're at 26301. So, and other resources as well. We have a live chat option. So if you know somebody in the community who doesn't know where to get any, human resource service help, they can reach out to 211.
And some people are a little bit shy about actually talking to people directly, so they always have that option as well. So.
Thank you, guys.
No, thank you all.
Did you want to say anything, Jacqueline? We're talking over you. huh?
No, I appreciate what Amy said about the partner organizations, because yes, that is a lot of where I do refer people to. So it's a great thing.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Wonderful. Well, you all have a blessed week.
Yeah,
Take
you
care.
too. Thank you all very much.
Good seeing you.
Take care of yourself.
Oh, hey, like I said, go to go home.
There you go.
Thanks, Laura. Appreciate everything.
How are you?
Good.
Heard the name, never.
Thanks for everything.
You got it. Okay. Number 11, consideration of approval of project fund requisitions for the payment of costs associated with the project fund agreement for payment of costs associated with the master equipment lease for cruisers 8/10/2022 between Harrison County Commission and Country Roads Leasing. A, requisition 3, and B, requisition 4.
Madam President, we can scratch off A, requisition 3, since the previous agenda item took care of.
So that's, okay, got it. So we're just taking care of B,
Yes, ma'am. that's
stop
correct.
sticks.
Motion approved, the stop stick.
A motion to approve 11B. Further, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Review, discuss, consider accepting the proposal from McKinley Architecture and Engineering for the Harrison County Commission Animal Control Facility.
Move to approve accepting the proposal and for staff to get with legal when the contract is presented and with our insurance carrier to go over for signing.
Motion is been made to approve the proposal and for the administrator to get with legal and insurance
Yes, ma'am.
when we receive the contract. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Number 13, review, discuss, consider a resolution authorizing the application for funds from the West Virginia Department of Agriculture for the West Virginia Spay Neuter Assistance Program. Take it, that's why Gene is here.
Yes, it's,
Which one?
this is one of the grants that we apply for every year, and with this grant, it allows animal control to pass out vouchers to an average of 70 to 80 families to get animals, dogs or cats spayed or neutered. It's been a very good program, and so we wanted to apply for it. That's what this is just get your signature, the commission's authorization to apply for this grant.
Move to approve resolution requesting grant and for president to fix her signature.
Motion to approve the requesting of the grant and a fixed signature. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. 14, review, discuss, consider West Virginia,
We'll return to 12 for a second.
what I do now.
They didn't do anything, but the McKinley proposal has two phases. It has a task 1 and a task 2. I just want to be clear, did your motion relate to both task 1 and task 2, or just task 1, which was the facilities assessment?
I see what you're saying, Trey.
I just want to
think
stay clear.
thought that- Yeah, I'd like to amend that to where I guess with option, we'll go through with option 1 to option 1 is renovation of existing and the others are new.
Well, task 1 has 2 subsets within it.
Yeah.
They're going to perform an assessment for retrofitting or a new facility.
Right, and I'm more, that's what I'm interested in.
Yeah, we're not going with that. We're not gonna keep the old facility.
We're going to look at both options, and that's what the different tasks are for, to just look at the both. the
Task
different-
1 is to provide an assessment. Task 2, based on recommendation. I see what you're saying, Trey.
So
But it would
task
still
2
be a-
depends on task 1, is that correct?
Yeah, I would
Yeah, I
say
mean,
we
the
limit.
contract wouldn't be that if we didn't, we do 1 and 2, and if we didn't want either one, then 2 would die.
Correct, so I think your motion should be limited to task 1.
Don't have a problem with that.
So we're not gonna look at a new one? We're just gonna
No,
look at-
No, task 1 has both.
Oh, task 1, I'm
options.
sorry, I'm looking at number 1.
Yeah,
Okay, gotcha.
I amend my motion to remove task 2 until task 1 is completed.
Okay, we're gonna back up to 12.
Yeah,
And he's amending his, Mr. Hinkle is amending his motion to remove task 2 from the motion. We are just going to go through with task 1, which is option 1, renovations of existing facility, and option 2 of new facility.
yeah, or we.
Correct, and then they come and they,
Contract to say that also just, whatever you, however you think's best, you know, modify the contract, say task 1, if we don't like the number, there's no task 2.
we'll deal with it. I just want some clarity
Yeah,
there.
okay.
Okay, any further? Okay, all in favor of the amendment of the motion for number 12, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Thank you. Right. Okay, now 14, review, discuss, consider West Virginia MLP opioid settlement agreement with Bypass Pharmacy, Rhonda Pharmacy, The Pharmacy, Clendenin Pharmacy, and Fruit Pharmacy, Inc.
Correct. Madam President, they have entered into an agreement with these smaller pharmacies in reference to the opioid settlement agreement. And so with that, since these are the smaller companies, we just need to have the president of each, your signature to the release form.
Is this something Sam was involved with?
Yes, and this is something you have signed before for the larger settlement of a different company, but this has to be done for the smaller.
And he recommends,
Yes.
what's the pleasure?
I'm sure pretty best stated by the thing.
So the motion is to approve the signature. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Number 15, review, discuss, consider budget revisions, prosecuting attorney 2022-2023 budget.
Madam President, this is just the prosecutor moving money within her own budget to cover some line items that are either currently in the negative or she foresees it being in the negative. So she's moving money that has already been allocated to her in her budget around.
What's the pleasure for 15? Motion to approve number 15. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Review, discuss, consider request for agriculture engineering proposal for the new regional farm recreation facility in Harrison County.
So Madam President, this goes back to the 279 property that we were looking at to build the regional farm complex facility. Originally, we went out to bid for a feasibility study for that piece of property to see which one was best. At that time, we had an agreement drawn up. There was one price, and then when we went along and went to the contract that was in the RFP, that price jumped dramatically. So in turn, we decided to go back out to bid. And this is sort of a condensed version. It doesn't have as many rules and stipulations where that price would increase like the last one would. And the only change that I did not have in this packet that I would like to amend is have that parcel specific along with this RFP. For that piece of property that the commission owns on 279.
We have, I mean, you want that in the motion, the parcel?
Yes, please.
Do we have is there a map and parcel? Is that what you're wanting?
Yeah, I just want to attach the map and parcel to this RFP, just so we are specific of the property.
That kind of defeats the first paragraph. Consultant will be required to evaluate suitable locations. So if we're only going to evaluate one location, then that needs to be changed. But it says to evaluate suitable locations of building size to accommodate the existing and future needs. So in this request, it's for them to look at different areas to recommend. That's the way that.
That's on the one parcel.
I can
Doesn't say that.
I can clarify it a little better, and that's one thing with having the attached parcel along with this RFP. It was voted on before that it would be this parcel, and they are to cut out the 8 acres, the best suitable 8 acres for the regional youth farm complex.
That's suitable 10 acres.
Or 10 acres, I'm sorry. Yes. And I believe by having the attached parcel and everything, correct me if I'm wrong, Trey, or designated, like which location on that piece of property.
Well, I think it needs to be more specific one way or the other, so the vendors know what their parameters are.
So
So
this has no parameters, no building size to accommodate existing and future needs or required to evaluate. How big a building we want.
Well, I believe once we figure out what location is the best
Or you just,
selection.
a
on it.
second ago, we just narrowed it down to the one location.
Right, so speaking on, I'm sorry.
Well, we've narrowed it down to a location, but not on where on that location, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. That's what they're going to look at. Where is the best place to put this on that piece of property?
Yes, and from there, we can then determine with the farm group, how big of a
Livestock.
building. Yes, thank you.
We already
Livestock.
have a design.
They do have a design in mind. They have the layout, yes.
Who has the design? Has
Livestock.
that been
The livestock
presented?
section.
Has that been presented to the commission?
They have had it here before, and before I was commissioner. I mean, we could get, the dimensions from them.
I'd like to at least see the parcel, subject to the parcel attached to the
Yeah, you could have
RFP. That way we're specific, if that's the intent.
and we could attach a photo of the area from the assessor's office, from the GIS map, correct? That piece of property. I mean,
Can we have a list of, what the existing needs are? What the intentions of this building are for? I don't know how you evaluate building, if you don't know what the needs are. Or a location. So you're just saying the barn. What's the usage? So one single use, multiple use? Chad, how do you build something if you don't, if I don't tell you what it's gonna be used for?
Well, I think that's a good point. I mean, that's where you start, your scope of work, you start and you have everybody come into a room and you say, this is, what do we want to do? What do we want to accomplish? So that's how I would recommend.
Who are we building this building for?
We're building for Harrison County. We know the farm bureau will be the.
Livestock Association, the 4-H, to have their sales out there and everything else.
So we put a committee together to see what each one of those groups needs in the building. To advise whoever's gonna do this what we need.
Now, right now, we're just looking for a location. Best 10 acres to build it on.
Design and construct.
After we figure out the location on this piece of property, which would be the best 10 acres for a facility, then from there, we can go into the design construction. We can have a list of exactly everything that we need, everything that is wanted or needed in this facility that would be housed on those 10 acres.
I guess, I guess that, to me, this is a pretty simple issue is that based on, Chad, if you're gonna tell me that it's expensive, but I don't know why it would be, why would we not have Thrasher or CEC or Ascent go and just evaluate the land and tell us and show us where we can have 10-acre plots? And then from there, we can decide what to do.
Absolutely. I mean, I think that's absolutely.
The easiest thing to do, and we might be surprised that to try to get a 10 or 12 acre spot on this land might not be that easy to accomplish before we dive into design and construct.
It's very similar to the
Madam, we
McKinley.
just did the exact same thing with McKinley.
With McKinley, I mean, that's what I intended to.
We're
do.
muddying the water on this, but we did 2 items ago.
It's the exact same thing, just. you don't
this will
wanna-
be a proposal similar to
You want to
that.
write your proposal so you don't have to go out for 5G again whenever you do design it.
Well, then I think it needs breaking down then in the, what we're gonna do, that we're gonna do it in steps.
I'm sorry, I'm a little confused here because the commission voted on having a feasibility study on the property on two
And we've
seventy-nine.
never gotten that yet.
We put that out to bid on the RFP. It came back. Thrasher did win that bid for the feasibility study.
Right.
When it was
Was
time to go with the contract for just the feasibility study, at that point in time, the original contract that came in was one price, but then it was very specific in a meeting that we needed to go with the contract that was attached to that RFP. In turn, the contract that was attached to the RFP, which encompassed several different groups going out and talking to, that came back at like $200 and some thousand.
Was that
So-
presented to us to go over?
Yes, and so at that meeting,
You changed it, David.
yes, at that meeting, you guys voted to go back out for bid for a proposal and for me to create one and bring it back so we can advertise it.
Which is
So,
what we're doing today. No differently did we did with McKinley.
right,
Okay. So motion to move forward with the RFP,
and attaching a picture of the parcel, I would like
the best
included
10
in there.
acres. And then no different than the animal control, have bids for construction of the facility.
No, right now, we're just finding out where to put the
Right.
facility.
Right,
No different than we are the,
but this is all one bid, so they find the perfect spot for it, and then we can move forward from there with this bid, correct me if I'm wrong, for the design and construction of it, so we don't have to go out again.
So we're not doing feasibility study.
Well, what I'd want to see is it, just like what we did with McKinney. Task one, site it, look at the land, look at the earth movement, come back in, report to the commission. At that point in time, the commission sits down, looks at the report and decides what way are we gonna go? Are we gonna go design build? Are we gonna go a different model? How are we gonna do this project? How are we gonna fund it? But right now, let's get the process started, because y'all have gone that direction, and get an initial analysis done of the earthwork, the grading, the retaining walls, the 10 acres, and get that report back to you all. Does that make sense?
My question is, will this document do that?
Yeah, that's, I mean,
Okay.
So whoever gets it, doesn't say that we have to, where we get to stop.
Where we what? Okay, then your motion is on
to move forward with the feasibility study and the proper location for the facility.
If we could word it to move forward with this RFP, including
Right,
the picture of the parcel.
right, just as stated by the county attorney.
But I don't think that's what the county attorney said. Well, I'm reading this as one and the same.
so let's look at the first paragraph. The first paragraph, and there are two sentences in there. The second sentence is the consultant will be required to evaluate suitable locations and building sizes to accommodate the existing and future needs of
He can come back with the building sizes.
regional farm recreation facility in Harrison County. I think Commissioner Hinkle's hangup is construct, which is in the sentence above, correct?
Yes.
So if we strike construct, evaluate design, can we move forward as a compromise within the RFP?
Yeah.
Is that all right, Commissioner?
But if we don't have that in the RFP, then once that is done, we'll have to go back out to bid again for construction.
Correct.
Which is what we're doing now with the animal control.
Yeah, that's what, so the project could be, we get a recommendation, we get a report, we get an analysis of what I would call siting. That comes back here, you all get that information, then we have to figure out how you're gonna fund it and how you're gonna implement it from design build, some other form, and then we go out with a more detailed RFP. I view this as more of an owner's engineer for the project type deal. This initial firm who's doing task one, whoever it is, they would kind of stay in that role throughout the life of the project.
And I don't mind saying, while I appreciate what we're doing right now, I wish you two would communicate a little bit better before the meeting so that this stuff could be ready. Or why does this come up now? Why was this not done with the agenda? Well, we saw the agenda. All right. I mean, I'm busting you both, but dang on it. Start communicating. All right, motion to move forward, please.
Are we gonna strike construct?
Strike construction.
For the motion, let me make sure I got the motion correct. The motion is to approve
All right.
the notice, the RFP for architectural and engineering proposal. And we are going to amend the proposal. First sentence, we will remove construct, and then we will attach a photo of the property.
Yeah, and then it says we're going to have this started in 2035. So let's keep working on it.
Okay. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed?
No.
There's no opposition. And number 17, administrators report.
I have nothing, Madam President.
I have nothing, Madam President.
Mr. Hinkle?
No, ma'am.
Have nothing either.
Motion adjourned.
Motion to adjourn. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.